Francophone leaders are picked up, put behind bars. Nobody rises to protest, and yet they want change. Why is nobody doing anything?
Because there is another strategy to win this rogue state, drying up the finance. That's number one. If a state, no matter how powerful and wicked it is, if they don't have money, they will fall. That's a strategy that is to be considered. That number one. Number two, the president-elect is now in Gambia, associated with ECOWAS and other embassies, foreign embassies, foreign international banking, and there is a wholesome strategy, a multi-layered strategy ready to strike along with an army. We have military, we have soldiers ready to act. So what I'm trying to say, that I understand your thirst to see an outburst, to see people in the streets and shouting and everything. But that strategy has already been exposed and awarded by the enemy. Let's do things differently. Okay? I tell you something, please, in the name of God, if you shut your shops, there will be no finance available for this government. So, what I'm saying that the financial situation is a heavy weapon against this government. And concerning what happened to Ekane, maybe within 2 days people will flood the streets. You don't know that. Things are kept in check because we don't want to display everything before the enemy.
All
Believe
right.
me, things are coming on.
All right. Eric, please. Some of the questions were posed to you.
Chris, can you hear me? I hope you can.
I can hear you,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
great.
sure.
Let me say a few things. Part of what we do in these public fora is to engage with our brothers and sisters and educate ourselves. And that flow of education is in both directions. I learn from listening to everyone, and I hope what I say also informs, and elevates understanding amongst all of us. Look, it's easy. Let's. I dream of the day when we will see ourselves as Africans dealing with almost the same problems that continue to bedevil the African, and and challenge ourselves to act as a people and find common solutions to the problems we have as a people. There's a serious problem there. It's easy to look around and say, "Oh, well, these the Anglophones are not doing this because the Francophones are not." So you challenge each other. You look at the problems of any given community, and they look so insurmountable, or they look so or different from the rest of us, that you think, oh, those people, those Anglophones or those Francophones or those people from God knows which part of the country, we kind of couch our problems in ways that we individually can understand them, and we forget of the global challenge. Those who, that, like on this program, Chris, we've complaining about Anise Kane and those who didn't rise to protect him. How many rose to protect Ayuk Tabi? How many? And look, this is fact. So we have a general problem that we need to look into and say we will stand up, we will not stand up for injustice. We will not.
I think you make a mistake there. I think
Maybe I am.
I think Ambazonians did their utmost best to fight for and to release all the Naira 10 comrades who are still in prison now. We hired lawyers to fight for them in Nigeria. I personally flew over to Nigeria to do what the best I could
Maybe I
do
should,
in that
Chris.
respect.
I don't want to interrupt you. Maybe I should not have gotten into that space. But the fact is there that all of us as Africans, we've not been willing to step back from the global challenges we face as a people. We've not been able to do that, or we're still unwilling to do that. And until we can look at these issues face to face and address them, we're from, the singular geography that we're from. Our problems are not that different. The fact, whether you take it from the linguistic standpoint or from the geographical standpoint, or you look at it from the sociological, those problems are very similar.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
we still don't have the strength of character to say we will approach these problems from the singular solutions that they deserve to have. This is the truth. Whether you like it or not, Chris, truth is what is going to save us.
All right.
And
Hold on there for a second. Let's get this caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Where are you
Hello,
calling from?
Secretary. I'm calling in Morocco.
Morocco. Okay. And what is on your mind, sir?
Yeah. Yes, Secretary Chris. I want to first plead to Mr. Eric Chinje, my big brother, my elder brother, that we came from Northwest together. We came all the way from in Northwest province in Cameroon, in Ambazonia, that they should look away. They should look away. This is the final ways they should look away with Chiruma and all those people if they want to get La Republique come down to its knees. The way that they have taken this thing very slow in the diplomatic system, in an issue like this, you win an election. You have to look like the people like those guys acting there in Europe. That they act there in Europe as the Operation Sardina. You have to hand over these issues of ghost town to them, for them to manipulate it while building the confidence with the population on the ground. Then while you, Chiruma, and the other people are working the diplomatic systems. Chiruma is sitting where he's sitting in Gambia, cannot take those, and he cannot do those things because you tarnish his image, you tarnish his diplomatic system. So he cannot activate the population on the ground. The system that is my brother, Mr. Eric, you have to look even in the position of the mother you put as a spokesman to Chiruma, that she cannot have that position. You look somebody in diaspora, like those guys in diaspora, and you hand these issues of activating ghost towns and all those things to them, for them to manage it while you run the diplomatic slow system. The diplomatic system is slow. You have to run them slowly, but accepting those guys to activate the population on the ground, because in Cameroon, let me tell you the way it works in Cameroon. That's why you see Mr. Biya force himself to declare himself president and start forcing elections up and down, in and out, because he wants to hold the population, concentrate in his doings, his actions. That's what you have to do.
All right. Thank you, sir.
First.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Chris.
you. Thank you. We get your point. Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. This is Mike Fossey, right?
You are correct.
Okay. What is on your mind, sir?
Well, I could not resist to call, and what I have to say is this. Let me start by saying that if what has happened to Mr. Kani, if La Republic of Cameroon citizens do not yet understand the beast that they are dealing with, then it is difficult for them to even know what they are fighting against. Because to me, it seems they don't really understand the regime that they are dealing with. These people are determined to rule that country for the foreseeable future using whatever means at their disposal, including murder and even genocide. They are willing to do that. So when I hear some of your commentators speaking, it gives me the impression that they don't yet understand who they are dealing with. These people are vicious. They don't care about spilling blood. And until La Republic of Cameroon citizens understand that, and understand that in order to confront these people, they must use the tools that will compel them to think otherwise. What I'm trying to say, let me put it bluntly. If those who want change in that country are not ready to they're not ready to see blood, then they should stop bothering people. If they're not willing to make sure that the same blood that these people are spilling, that theirs too, they realize that theirs too can be spilled in the same manner. Until they understand that, nothing will change in the Republic of Cameroon. And when I listen to the response from Chiroma, or the statement he made about Mr. Kani's death, it sounds so lame. It sounds so lame. There's no, I don't feel any anger. I don't feel anything there that can give people a reason to rise up. I don't see it. Now, let me say this. Let me give them a prescription. Maybe they don't understand. Let me give them a prescription. For all those who like to say out here in the diaspora, oh, we want change, making noise. Start organizing yourselves in communities. Have your communities and start putting resources together to confront that regime. That is how you show some seriousness. Start putting your resources together. When you have enough resources together, you will have fighters. Because the only reason La Republic of Cameroon soldiers are going out there and fighting is not because they love that regime so much, it's because of what they are getting out of it. So when you are able to counter that and be able to have another counter force and be able to equip them and compensate them, you will have people who are willing to fight for the cause you say you're fighting for. Until you are willing to do that, I don't see any seriousness on their part.
All right.
I don't see any seriousness on their part. That's my free advice to them. Get yourself organized and do something, or shut up.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir. That was very blunt. But the first caller, Eric and Emmanuel raised a very legitimate question. You give the position of a spokesperson for a revolutionary organization to an 80 or 84-year-old woman on the ground. Why not put it in the hands of the activists in the diaspora? And why not let have Chiroma lead the way in vision, in diplomacy, and then leave the other part of it, the action part of it, in the hands of the activists in the diaspora? We've seen what Bas has done in the past years in Europe. Why not do that?
Well,
Chris, there's something called the Americans called Monday. Can you hear me?
Eric,
can you hear me?
Hear you. You may be muted at your end.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what is.
Can you hear me, Chris?
I can hear you. Emmanuel,
I think
go
Emmanuel
ahead
does.
and speak. Let's see.
Yes.
I hear him.
So I was talking about what the Americans called Monday. You
Somehow I
know,
don't hear both of you.
oh,
Can
but
you hear
Emmanuel
me?
hears
I
me.
don't know
I
whether
hear
you
him.
hear. Do you hear me?
You hear
Yes,
me? I
yes,
hear you. I hear you,
yeah.
Chris. I
I
hear
don't
Chris
hear.
and
All
I
right,
hear
just go on. We'll figure that out here. Go on, please.
Okay, so the
Eric.
problem is clearly from you because the three of us, we can hear you. I can hear Emmanuel, and I can hear
I can
myself.
hear you now.
And
Something was muted here.
yes, okay. So the point I was making was about this
Slow the
Monday morning
question down.
quarterbacking, which you know well in the United States. It's the easiest role to play. It's the easiest role to play. The guy who just spoke, and I respect what he said, but think about this for a moment. There's a handful of people in this country of the United States that have been putting their ideas together, have been putting a little bit of money. You must have heard of Project Seed, for example, where people have been putting $25, $100, $50. Some have even gone as high as $1,000, $2,000. They've been putting their little resources together to help out. Um, they've helped out some of the children who were protecting Issa Chiroma's house, for example. We've put money. That group has put money and sent to New Bell in Douala to feed 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, and so on, young adults who were arrested, 400, 500, 600 of them. They've put some resources together to do that. They've put some resources together to encourage these guys who ride motor taxis, who cannot afford to go for a whole day without working. They've put some money and said, look, we'll ease the pain. There are people making things happen.
But
You
then
know,
that action only
no. So
prolongs the
let me
pain.
finish
I
by
think.
saying that those who sit back and think nothing is going on, one, they've not been able to, they should reach out and see what is happening and how they can contribute to that effort instead of sitting back and criticizing. So
I
easy to
think
criticize.
I think what they are saying is what you are doing may be good, is actually good, but not what is required at the moment. They want to see the youth of Cameroon rise up, take to the street, and reclaim their freedoms. That's what he's talking about.
Well, part of this, Chris, is also educating the people. Part of it is giving the people a reason to believe that there's a future that lies beyond activism. And, the Senegalese understood it and they did it and got the change they wanted.
Yeah.
But we've not quite done it yet in Cameroon. But that's for not the lack of trying. There are lots of efforts right now. You must have heard of what Kawala is trying to do with her people to raise some money to educate the women. There's a lot that needs to, a country like Cameroon is not easy because it's a country that has enough to feed it, well, until recently, could feed its people. And now all of a sudden people are going hungry and they're beginning to
I
listen and to
don't,
understand.
Eric, I don't understand though that after all these years we're still talking about educating the women, educating the youth, and
But it is the case because in Senegal, they were hungry easily. They didn't have food. In Cameroon, they always had food. You must take these things into account. We're not fabricating them. This is the reality on the ground. And don't it, it can be very easy sometimes to
do
stand
you
away
do
from
you
these things.
think do you think if everybody get the food they want on the ground as you suggest, and the Okada
No,
guys
no,
get
no, no.
all the
That's
money for gas that they want, what will motivate them to go defend their freedoms?
That is precisely why things have changed. There's a demand, a real demand for change in Cameroon. It's because the realities on the ground have changed. It's because we have a system that no longer works for ordinary citizens. It's because we have people, as a result of the corruption, people who've destroyed the futures of young people in Cameroon. We have a country where people are leaving universities and cannot find jobs. We have a country where there are no investments coming into the economy. Cameroon has just been destroyed, and that is what has finally. It's taken a while for it to hit home, but it has hit home. And at no other time have we had what we have in that country now, where people are waking up and needing needing to be helped to understand that there could be a better Cameroon than they have today. And that's what we all are trying to do. And all I can do is encourage those who are sitting out and talking about Cameroon of yesterday to look at Cameroon of today and play the role that they should be playing today, not yesterday. And this applies to, I mean, I don't want to get into the debate about who should be doing what. No, all I'm saying is each of us look at yourselves and ask yourself the question: have I done what I should be doing to move this country forward? Chris, let me answer that
I
question to you.
have done that.
Let me
I
answer the
continue to
question,
do
and it's
that.
important.
And my
And
country,
I'm not answering this question.
I
I'm
have
not
done
answering the
that. I
question.
continue to do that. Know
Yes, I
that
know
my
that, Chris.
country
I
is
know.
the southern
So it's not
Cameroon,
about
not
you.
Cameroon.
Yes, it's not about you. It's not about me. No, it's about us.
Right.
So it's about
Yes.
us.
But
We've been given
my
a set.
country is
God put us,
Amazonia, though.
whatever you, it doesn't matter what you want to call it, but God put us in a certain geography. God put us there.
I said
And
my country, not our country. I said my country.
I'm not talking about your country, my country, or anybody else's
Okay.
country. I'm just saying God put us
Chris,
God put
my
us in a
God.
certain geography with a certain responsibility. You see your responsibility as you see it, that's totally fine. And that is consistent with your God. I see my responsibility as I see it based on where God put me. And if you want me to describe who I am within that geography, I can. But the important thing is, when I go to bed at night, when I sit back at home, when I look at the situation of that country, the one question I ask myself is not, what is Chris Arnold's responsibility? I ask myself, what is Eric Chinge's responsibility within this mix? And that's all. That's all. And I hope that the more of us are willing to ask the question and do what it takes and put that extra dollar from our pocket instead of going to use it for some other reason, put it to trying to help resolve the problems of that community. The more of us do it, the better for the country. And that's all we can ask. That's all we can ask. I'm not
All
going
right.
to try to put pressure on you that more than you can bear.
Emmanuel, why should bars not take over organizing? Organizing. When I talk about organizing, I mean action organizing, mobilizing of foot soldiers on the ground, and only look up to Issa Chiroma for diplomacy and for direction.
It's
Mm,
amazing because what
mhm,
you are saying is already in place and ready to be ready to show. You know, it's amazing because I keep saying this. There is something that is called strategy and tactics. And there's something that is called stealth technology, stealth fighting. We are doing things that you do not see, Chris, yet advocating for. All those things you're advocating for are being done at this point in time. I got to say maybe three things I heard. You said, how come Chiroma chose a 84-year-old lady as a spokesperson? It has nothing to do with the number of years. It has to do with
mhm,
authority,
mhm,
wisdom, intelligence. Africa is a country that honors elders. As much as youngsters are, full of energy to go forward, they cannot do anything without the
mhm,
wisdom of elders. The matter in this case is who is going to have the ear of the majority of the people. In Africa, we listen to elders. That's number one. Number two, about the spokesperson, you say that somebody said, Chiroma would choose spokesperson and abroad among uh, the people abroad. Well, I said last time that they are official spokesperson and they are unofficial spokespersons in the among the diaspora. I am one of them. I think Eric Ginger is one of them. Even you, Chris, you know, we don't have to look to one special person who will be the only person to speak for Chiroma. We know the frame, we know the direction, and with that vision, everybody can act at his place. The Christ, Yahushua was saying, those who are not
Yep.
against us are with us.
Mm-hmm.
So a shared responsibility. Because as I said, I am seeing something here that is common with French people. I live in France. French people, when it comes time to take responsibility, they don't. And when they reach a place where the situation has exploded, they start looking for individuals to hold that one responsible, that other one responsible. No, this is a collective task. This is a collective goal. This is a collective fight. When you say, hey, I understand that you want to see people in the street, that all these people calling here, they want to see people in the street, flooding the streets and shouting and dying. I'm saying, how about we bankrupt the rogue state? How about that? Because
Well,
the
the
reality,
thing is that the problem there, Manuel, is that we have heard about the World Bank. In the days of John Frundi, you will remember we were told the World Bank is coming, the African Development Bank is coming, and so on and so forth. And yet, the Bia's regime continued to wax
no,
stronger and
that's not what
stronger.
happened.
And
I'm sorry, but that's not what happened at this time. At this time, we're freezing the accounts. The Ngongo and all those guys, the accounts are being frozen. All these international institutions that are lending money to Cameroon have received dossiers, and they are going to froze the Cameroonian financial supplies. When people are doing ghost towns, money stop coming back into the account of this government. If we dry out the account, if the bankrupt, this has never been done before. Okay, so I think bankrupting the system is even more efficient than the 3,000 people who have already died. Let's not forget this number. 3,000 people have already
when you
died.
talk about using ghost towns to freeze the economy or pull it backward, the ghost towns, your ghost towns are not
Mm-hmm.
working. Don't you realize
They
that?
are,
Your
they
ghost
are,
towns are not
just,
working.
you just don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't see it. The
Where? We
Cameroon,
see it where? In Douala? In
dear
Yaoundé?
Chris,
In
dear
Bafoussam? We
Chris,
don't see it.
dear Chris,
We
I
see
would love
it here and
I
there in the spotted manner, like in the was it what is the name of that town in the western region where it was really severe last week? But we don't see Douala should be shut down. That
you
is the
just don't see
economic capital where you can essentially strangle that country in a day.
Chris, you just don't see it. But I would love to take you by hand and show you the actual budget of Cameroon, to take you to the Ministry of Economy and see that money is running out. You just don't see it. There are so many things that are going on right now, stealth technology. You just don't see it. But all those things you're looking forward to happening are happening secretly. Gongo will not take the microphone and tell you Cameroon is getting poorer and poorer and poorer. We're not going to be able to finance the militia. We're not going
It's
to be
gonna
able
end
to
now.
pay the military. We're not going to be able to pay the soldiers, etc. They won't tell you, but that's exactly what's going on. Hence, the being so nervous as to kill a man, a sick man in jail. That's just how nervous they are. So believe
Yeah.
me, things are going the way you want them to go.
Yeah.
We are in action, not the way you want it, but believe me, you're gonna have another vision of warfare successful.
All right.
The, yes. The message. Yes, Chris.
Yes, yes, go on, Eric, the last word.
Yes. The message here is every, there's a lot of things happening, below the radar
Exactly.
that people are actions that people are undertaking. And what we really need at this time is for each of us to do what they can in their own individual capacities to ensure, we can bring. Cameroon has never been the government in Yaoundé has never been in a more fragile situation than it is now. And it takes for very little to bring this whole house of cards crumbling. But for that to happen, each of us has to play their roles. And that's
Yes.
all, it's not enough to sit back and complain. This is the time to stand up and be counted and say we will act in very specific ways. The economy of Cameroon has never been worse than it is right now. But
Yes.
we're not going to destroy that economy without deliberate action, targeted action. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not doing that. A lot of people would rather just sit back and complain. So Chris, I must be leaving. It's been a lot of fun, being with you on this podium, and I hope we can have other chances to engage in a discussion. But let me say this before I go: this this country. I mean, there are those who would say, "No, it's not my country, or it's my country," but we are all part of the same agenda of development. We are all part
Yes.
of it, whether we like it or not. And you know, all I would love to be able to say is, again, as I said it, each of us should ask ourselves, what can I do, or what have I done to improve on my overall environment? That's the question that each of us should ask. And there's a lot we can do individually. And I can tell you, when I woke up this morning, I realized, for example, that the communications around President Issa Chiroma was kind of disparate and all over the place. And what did I do? I started calling a few people. I said, you know what? We need to talk. We need to see what each of us is doing. And that was a very individual initiative, which neither him, Mr. Chiroma, nor anybody else knew about. But because I saw the need, I rose up in the morning and tried to address it. That's what I'm hoping, that all of us in our individual places can get up and say, what can I do to improve the overall situation in which we find ourselves in? That question should be asked. And all of us can add a little bit and make all of a difference. I hope
I
we
want to
can.
ask Chris. I want to ask Chris a question. Why are you saying that Ambazonia is your country and La Republique is not? I know you're comrade one, and I see a very powerful revolutionary here. But please, why are you insisting on being apart from La République du Cameroun and say your country versus my country?
No, no,
Because
no,
I
no. That is
consider
not the point. That is not
I,
the
I really hope
point.
that I hope you guys would allow me to leave now, because that's
yeah,
getting into
yeah.
a deeper argument, which I would love to be a
Thank
part
you.
of, but not today.
All right.
So,
Thank
Chris,
you.
thank you so much,
Thank you.
Chris. And
All right.
Emmanuel, it
Thank
was
Thank
you.
you.
great meeting you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for the opportunity to have this exchange.
Thank you, sir. We'll
Thank
talk
you.
later.
You're
Okay.
welcome. Thank you.
All right. So
Just a candid, that's a very candid question.
take that question again. I was a little bit distracted by what Eric said there. Take the question again, please.
Okay. Why are you saying that Ambazonian is your country versus La République du Cameroun? Why are you insisting on that difference?
I think it is very clear. Maybe you have not been around for long. You will recognize that Ambazonia has been fighting. The southern Cameroons has been fighting for the past 9 years. And when we
Okay.
come today to say Ambazonia is where we belong to, is what we fight for, that is true. put a wedge between the fact that for 9 years, why the Southern Cameroons fought against what you guys want to fight today, none of you raised your voice to support the Southern Cameroons. That is the problem. And so today, when we see French Cameroonians trying to wake up and fight the regime and fight for change and fight for justice, we are like, that is no longer our agenda, because at this moment we have a different agenda. If you succeed, both of us benefit. If we succeed, maybe you guys, you benefit. But I think we have a common enemy, because Ambazonia's fight is not necessarily against the citizens of French Cameroon. It is against the elite. It is against those who have ruled that country for the past 43 years. Those are the people who have entrenched themselves that there can be no change. But we rose up against it. We asked for a return to federalism in 2016. We didn't see Francophones rising up and saying, these people are asking a legitimate question. We did not see that. We did not see your musicians compose songs to support Ambazonia. We did not see your elite rise up except Dieudonné Essomba, the only one I know stood up for Ambazonia. Dieudonné Essomba, the only Francophone I can point to who fought for Ambazonia at his own corner. But the rest of you call us Ambazozo, you call us No So, you gave us different names. That is why Ambazonia sees nothing to benefit in joining you Francophones to fight for your own freedoms when we have
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS will benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during prime-time slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows.
So,
You'll also
all right.
be featured on our social.
Sorry about that. Emmanuel, I don't know whether you got my articulation. I don't know if you got it.
Yeah,
but
I did.
give you
I
the
did.
last chance to respond.
I did. Remember, I made a statement saying that we sat with Chiroma and we made the decision to call upon all the Ambazonian leaders to ask for one, forgiveness for our cowardice, lack of responsibility and solidarity with the Ambazonian, number one, reparation, okay, and even considering a financial support. Can you hear me there?
I can hear you.
Okay, and a financial support. That number one. And now we also have to tell me if I'm wrong. I think that the Federal Republic, because when I left Cameroon, people were singing, c'est la République fédérale. Soyons tous unis. When I left Cameroon, we were a federal republic. And I guess that because of the oil resources,
When did you leave Cameroon?
1980.
1980. 1980, Cameroon was not a federal republic.
Exactly. I know that it was before I left.
It was before, yes,
When I was
1961.
at school, when I was in college, okay? And then I guess that Bia's government wanted to get the oil resources. That was in South Cameroon. That's why he decided to stop the Federal Republic and become La République Unie because of the oil that you guys have.
All right,
So
listen,
we
we
have,
don't have time to go into that. The fact is that Francophones knew that all along. Anglophones, as you call it, complain and complain and complain over the years. And when finally they rose up, nobody came to support them. But hold on, let me quickly take this call before you go. Hello.
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 Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Where are you calling from, please?
Yes. I'm calling from Maryland. Thanks for taking my call. I think I will be the last caller. I wanted to ask a question to our brother. He just went, but let me talk to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, please. I want to give you just one quick advice. If you are on the platform, don't talk anything against Ambazonians. We have gone through a lot. We have really gone through a lot. Just like Comrade Chris was saying, when we were going through all our fights, we were killed, villages burned. You are talking of 3,000 people killed in La Republic of Camerron. You may want to ask Comrade Chris how many people have been killed in Ambazonia. When all this was happening, there is no Francophone blogger, no Francophone, even you were nowhere to be found. Here you are here today trying to have us come and help. Please, many Ambazonians are in for this solidarity, but if you want to push like, you putting some blames, asking questions, why are we Ambazonians, why are we this, you are going to tear things apart. You're going to move all the Ambazonians that try to fall on your path, you're going to send them away. Please, you need to be apologetic to us because a lot has been going on. And for your information, we are a separate country. Thanks again, Chris.
Thank you, sir. All right, thank you for the call. All right, Emmanuel, thank you for coming on, sir. I really appreciate it. I will bring you back next time. We'll have much more time to talk about this. But for now, the time is fast spent, and we'd like to call it a night. It was a pleasure having you, sir.
I just wanted to remind this guy my statement asking for forgiveness, reparation, and financial support for the Amazonians. So I think he forget my statement, and I just asked a mere question.
You see, I don't think Ambazonians need financial support. They need freedom, justice.
Well,
I think that's what they're asking for.
We're going to sit at the table, as I said, with Chiroma. Chiroma said he wants federalism back. I'm not against Amazonian. You're my brothers. That's my point.
That is his opinion. That is Chiroma's opinion, because I don't think any person has the power to singularly decide what Ambazonians should have. I think, yes, coming to the table, we agree on that. Exactly. But when we get on that table, then we have to decide what should happen. Not somebody telling us we're going to give you a referendum or give you federation. Let the people decide.
Okay, but I'm being apologetic. I'm not against you.
I get you. I
All right. Understand the problem.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. I love Ambazonians. I love my people. I love you, Chris. And I respect your position.
Thank you, sir. It was a great privilege having you again tonight. I look forward to bringing you back on one of these days. Remain safe out there.
God bless. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that will be the end of the show for tonight. I would like to thank you for staying put for this long 2.5 or 3 hours that we've been on. This was a marathon. I am glad you did. Please, before I go, I'd like to appeal to you. ABS needs your help, and we need it now. And when I say now, I mean now. We need your support to keep this channel on satellite. If you're on ground zero, you are not watching us, or tomorrow you don't see us on satellite, know that it is shut down. But we don't do this because we want to come on the social media and have a show or make money, as we hear some people do on the social media, on YouTube. We do this because we know we are educating people back on the ground. And people on the ground do not have access to internet data. that we have in the diaspora to turn it on and watch forever and forever as we want. Ground Zero needs satellite to continue to be educated. Without satellite, they cannot afford the data. And the millions of those who watch us are mostly from there. And when we come live on live, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we have between 1,005 and 2,000 watching simultaneously on the social media. But again, the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of others who watch us are watching from Ground Zero in all of Africa. For us to continue to serve them and bring them this education, which I believe you very much appreciate, please support ABS to stay on satellite by making a generous donation. We really want you to make that donation today. If you are in the USA, you can use Cash App, you can use Zelle, and the number is right there on your screen. Please, please, this is my appeal to you tonight. We need it now. We need it now to get the satellite running on the suspended. The number you find on your screen, not the live calls number, but the 301 number is for Zelle and Cash App. The 301 number 3324153, that is the Cash App and the Zelle number. When you make your donation, the person receiving it will acknowledge it and it will reach to me. Now, if you want to send me a personal message on how you can use PayPal to donate, please send me a text on that other number on the live number you find on your screen. On the live number you find on your screen. I am appealing to you really strongly. I can't say this enough. Please, we need you to keep on educating and informing those in Africa and those who support this cause for freedom, justice, and democracy in the Southern Cameroon and La République du Cameroon. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in and staying put tonight for this long. I look forward to being back here tomorrow. Good night, and may God bless. May God bless.